Welcome to this series where I'll guide you through the process of creating your social networking website from scratch. I'm Akagi Haru. By the end of this series, you'll not only have a functional social platform but also gain valuable insights into web development practices. We'll be leveraging the power of PDO, aka PHP data objects, for our database connections. PDO not only helps us connect to the server but also enhances security and supports multiple database types, making our project robust and scalable. Throughout this series, we'll cover a wide range of topics to ensure your social network includes all the essential features. So let's take here a sneak peek into what we'll be building together. We are building it user-friendly dashboards that provide an overview of activities, a user profile page that will showcase individual identities, a comprehensive friend request system to connect the users, a real-time messaging and chat functionality, intelligent notifications to keep users informed, fine-grained privacy settings for personalized experiences, user preferences to tailor the platform to their liking, an interactive like, comment and share system for the posts, a seamless post system for smooth content sharing, and much more. But before we dive in, let's make sure you all set up. Ensure you have Champ or WAMP running smoothly to avoid any server-related hiccups. Now let's look at the initial steps together. You need to open phpMyAdmin from Champ or WAMP, and we're going to create our database. I'll name mine as Social Network, and we're going to click on Create. Now we're going to move to the next crucial step, which is designing the tables. So here's a quick outline of the tables we'll be creating. We're going to create a table for the users, which is going to store the user data. We're going to create another table for posts, for the engaging content the users will share. The message table to facilitate seamless communication. Notifications to keep users in the loop, or for example, you receive a notification from a friend that liked your post or shared your post or liked your post or that he published something on the feed, and so on. The next table is friends, which is going to be to managing the connections and relationships between the users. The next two tables are likes and shares, which are going to capture the user interactions. And the last one for now, it will be picture albums, which are going to do it is more for the visual storytelling, the user posting their pictures, doing what they like most, and so on. Keep in mind, as we progress, we'll further enhance these tables and add more as we need. Let's roll up our sleeves and start crafting our social network. First of all, let's create the tables. The user table we're going to do here is create table users, and we're going to say ID, and we're going to say int like a primary key and auto increment. Then what we need to do is the username. It will be a varchar with a length of 50, and it will be not null. We also need the email, so it will be a varchar with a length of 100 and not null. We're going to have the password, and it will be a varchar with the length of 255, also not null. We're going to add here the full name, which is going to also be a varchar with a length of 255. Also not null. We're going to add the birthday. Here the type will be date. The next one, it will be the country, which the varchar will have 255, not null. The next one is going to be profile picture. This one, it will be a varchar with a 255 length, and then we're going to add two more, which one of these is online. It's an integer with the default number to 0. The last one is registration date, and this is going to be the timestamp, and the default to be the current timestamp. All right. For the other ones, we just can copy this. So for the posts, we're gonna just change the column. So we're going to say user ID. Can delete the rest. User ID to int. We're gonna say not null. The post content, it will be a text, not null. The last one, it will be the post date. It will be timestamp as a default of the current timestamp. We also going to add the foreign key to the user ID. We're going to make it a reference to the user's table ID column. All right, so we have here the posts. Now we're going to do the same thing for the message, and here is, instead of user, we're going to say sender ID. Then here what we're going to do is doing the receiver ID, that is the same as the sender, and here is the messages content, and here the message date. The foreign key here, it will be, we're going to have two. This means sender. Then we're gonna copy this to make the same thing for the receiver. What the foreign key does is creating a relationship and linking it to the table of users to pick it up the user ID. Next, we are going to do the notifications table. We're going to create this one because it's similar to the messages. We're going to say notifications. The sender ID, receiver ID, it will be the same. Here it will be the notifications content, and here it will be notifications date, and here is the same thing. So what I'm gonna add here that I forgot on the messages is red, and it will be integer as a default to 0 and not null. What this is going to do is, if the user read the message, it will be going to update to 1. Otherwise, if it's not reader, it's going to be 0. Now, what we're going to do is create the friend tables. Let's do this over here. Create the table of friends. The sender ID and the receiver ID, it's the same thing, and we can just delete this part because we don't need that, and we just need the date. So we're gonna say here the friendship date is done. Now we're gonna copy the notifications one, and we're going to create the likes table. And here the likes, it will be the user ID. In this case, we can delete this one that we don't need. We're going just to add here the post ID and change the text to int, and we're going to say not null. Likes date to be the default, which is your current time, from your computer or your smartphone, and the foreigner key is going to just change this to user ID, and here to post. Instead of users on this one, it will be to posts, because this is the table name. All right, and the share is really the same of the liking. Just need to change the here to shares date, and everything is the same. Now we are going to create the last table. It is picture albums, and we're going to have the ID, user ID. Then what I'm going to do is say the album name, change the integer to varchar, and we're going to say with the length of 100, and here it will be creation date, and here we just need 1, so it's going to be like this, which is a user ID reference to user's ID. And so we have our tables created. With the tables in place, we are ready now to move on to the next step in building our social networking website. Let's set up the database connection in our code. So to do that, you need to open your preferred code editor and create a new file named database or db.php, whatever name you want to put it. But before we do the coding, we just need to click on go to create the databases. And if you're going to structure over here on the PHP admin, you see all the tables are created. And now, yes, now let's begin. And we're going to save this as db.php. In my case, we're going to open and close the tags of the PHP. And over here, we're going to have 3 variables. The first one is the host. In my case, is localhost, and the majority of the times is localhost as well. We're going to say the db user. In my case, is root. So in your case, you can put root or the user that is on the database server. And here it will be the db pass, and in my case is empty because there is no password. If you have a password, then insert the password over there. So these 3 variables is to hold the database host, username, and password respectively. So now what I'm going to do is create a try block. So inside of this try block, we are going to attempt to establish a connection using PDO and providing detailed error handling if a connection error occurs. And to do that, we're going to create a new variable called con, which means connection, and we're going to create a new PDO class. In the first parameter, we're going to insert like this, MySQL, and we're going to say host equals, and we're going to say db host. Then semicolon, and we're going to say db name. And here in my case, it's social_network. So you put yours as you want it. And the second parameter, you're going to add the db user, and the third one is going to be the db pass. Next, we going to use the set attribute. To do that, we're going to add the con, and we're going to set attribute method. We are going to configure it, the PDO, to throw exceptions on errors. So to do that, you need to do the PDO. We're going to say error mode. And then we're going to see the same thing in the beginning, PDO, and error mode exception. All right. And the last thing is we're going to print connected successful. Now we're going to do is doing the catch. So the catch is going to be a PDO exception with a variable e, or the variable that you wanted to put, and we're going to print out the connection error. So we're going to say connection error, and we're going to add here the e variable, and we're going to get the method get message. What this is going to do is gonna to appear an error message in case it failed. This is, as you see, we're gonna just come here to the db.php, and as you can see, it's connected successfully. If the database doesn't exist, or you mistake it on the DB name or whatever, it will give you the connection error and the error message. With our connection set, we're making steady progress toward our goal. So stay tuned for the next video. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and enable notifications so you don't miss the next episodes. In the upcoming video, we'll be creating login and sign up forms, allowing users to access the dashboard page or register if they don't have an account. So see you!